Time for another edition of the hottest new podcast on all platforms, Fat Fish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fat Fish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
Here we are.
You know what?
55.
What did we get ourselves into? Where are we?
Well, this is part of the community service you have to do, Mark, for that. No. part of the community service. You're on. Hey, we're blessed to have you two, Mark and Barry from Cloudwater. And I got sent a case of this to my house from Grunny. My wife drank half of it already and says, I want to come on the show. She's a school teacher. She can't. This is a wonderful product. I'm right now drinking passion fruit and pineapple.
Before you go on, welcome to Fat Fish number 55, baby.
Okay.
This is what we do.
Take over the show, Brad. Take it over.
No, I just, I know you're so nervous because we have the Cloudwater boys on. That's Mark. That's Barry, the owners of this unbelievable product. And guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Grunny and Eric.
My script says it's fantastic to be here, so I'm just going to follow that script.
I'm glad.
And by the way, Cloudwater has increased the divorce rate by 50% for that exact reason. You cannot put a case in your closet and leave it there. You're supposed to hide some. There's a handbook that comes with it. We'll get into that.
I'm glad you have the glam squad today, Mark. You look
nobody reads the user manual. You know that.
So, guys, how did Cloudwater start? Who came up with it? When did it hit the market? All the good stuff.
Barry?
Well, I could tell you where it's disseminated from, and I have an image I think I might have shared once. It was November 12th, 2017. I was at our mutual friend's house, Don, in Malibu, and, let's just say we tied one on. And I mean, bottles of Screaming Eagle, Louis. I mean, Pappy, a 31 Pappy. I mean, we went deep. And the next morning, day, or whenever it was, afternoon, I woke up. He was dating this like hippie chick at the time, and she says, "Here, drink this. This will help your hangover." And I remember drinking. What the? So she says, "This is CBD water." And they're like, you know what CBD is? And, then I was like, yeah, peripherally, I know it doesn't get you high. And they start going into all these incredible health benefits that come with it. So I'm thinking to myself, I start reading. I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, there's some great stuff. There's medications that are based on it. I think at that time there were about 14 in the world. And I'm like, well, why does it have to taste like shit? Why can't we make a better tasting delivery device? My sister is a flavor chemist in the beverage industry. So I called her, same thing, do you know about CBD? She's like, yeah, it's an up and coming. It doesn't get you high, but she didn't know too much. At that time, a lot of people couldn't even spell CBD. So we launched, so I went into the lab and my sister was able to mask the bitterness.
Dad joke.
What?
Dad joke. That's okay. Keep going. You're on a roll.
Joke. So anyway, you know what? Fuck it. I'm out of here. You ruined it.
Barry,
Barry, just read the teleprompter. They told you at the beginning of the show. Just freaking read it.
All right. So, anyway, so my sister was able to master bitterness, and we launched this product. And what year? When did 2019? When did it hit the shelves?
It hit It just sounded like you said my sister was able to masturbate, but I digress. I digress.
Fortunately, she still has both hands and all fingers. So yeah,
we're here all night, everybody.
Yeah, I think there was a little glitch in the sound, so maybe it threw it off.
So she was able to mask the bitterness.
Oh, okay.
Mark, and how did you get involved?
So I think we hit the shelves in mid 2019,
and then COVID, of course, as you know, hits the shelves as well soon after that. So at that point, stores weren't interested in carrying CBD drinks. It was all about water and toilet paper, as the world still relies upon those two things. And And so we decided to launch an immunity drink because everything we were reading was about vitamin D, zinc, and all that stuff to help ward off COVID. So then we launched within 3 months. We hit the stores with our immunity line, and that was getting some traction. And then now it's morphed into this daily defense, which includes prebiotics. All of our drinks are all organic, sweetened with organic wildflower honey. Then we have our new Peace, Love, and Energy line, which you like, Mark. I'm sorry, Eric, the best Fish. I think you said you think those are the best.
What his name is? Yeah.
I'm also in love with these as well. While I drink, and it's we have electrolytes in there that come from coconut water, because when you add electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and so on, it could make it salty and obviously, and kind of bitter. So we use electrolytes from coconut water. So it also adds to the flavor, and it has organic green tea, caffeine from green tea, 80 milligrams. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty great, healthy alternative to any other energy drink out there.
Hey, Fish, would this be great at mixers for at your bar, Shucks Tavern?
I could think of. I was telling the guys before you came on, there's about 15 or 20 drinks I could think of at Shucks Tavern, where I work. That would be phenomenal, especially with the passion fruit and pineapple. All these mixers. I mean, half tea and half lemonade. That's my wife's
John
favorite.
Daly. Does she mix it with vodka?
I think it's kind of comical. We launched, and we're a bunch of goofballs here, obviously, but we take the science and the stuff we put in a can very seriously. Yeah, we launched this like in the health and wellness space, right? And I wanted to get healthier, and we, CBD was an amazing compound, and everything we're making now is loaded with stuff. So we're Barry kind of. That's the most serious I've ever seen the guy. But when you're talking to people about educating about your product, you want them to know it's serious. And then people start writing in, holy shit, I mixed this with tequila last night and it was amazing. It's like the resiliency of human beings is pretty incredible. So, I mean, then people started asking us for recipes and cocktails. And of course we make mocktails and stuff, but it's just ironic that you're, kind of going down this corridor of health and wellness, and people are so serious about it now. And half the comments we're getting in is like, what Barry just said, I turned my Arnold Palmer into a John Daly and then some, and my margaritas and stuff. It's pretty funny. But
did you not, Barry, Mark? Did you not expect that? Because that's the first thing that I thought of. Is that, I mean, look, with all your flavored vodkas.
Yeah,
well, I did, and I could tell you there's a story behind each flavor, and unlike Mark, I'm not looking to get healthy. In fact, probably just the opposite. So So I'll tell you how the first flavor came about. So when I first had this idea, I was talking to this marketing person, and I had to bribe her with food. Come over to my house, I'll get some sushi. That's what she wanted. So I went to this place called Koi to pick up sushi. And while I'm waiting for the food to be ready, in this, I think in the spring, they have a special cocktail that or spring and summer. It's a gin drink with grapefruit, mint, and basil. So as I order that, I'm drinking it. I'm like, holy shit, I have our first flavor, grapefruit, mint, basil. So that's where that came from.
Did you do a bit about bringing somebody over with food once?
What was that?
Didn't Dice Clay do like a bit with bribing somebody to come over with food?
That's candy. Yeah, fat.
I got fudge.
All right. I got M&Ms. Anyway. I got Twinkies. No, so anyway, I'm like, holy shit, there's our first flavor. And anyway, so that's where the blood then I could tell you the other stories. But yes, they are all intended to mix. And that grapefruit mint basil really can mix with anything. If you want a twist on a Paloma, mix it with tequila. Everything goes good with vodka, of course. Grapefruit juice.
You know what the most
we had a chocolate flavor. It was so polarizing. It was Barry came up with it. It was like dark chocolate and strawberry.
Strawberry. Yeah, and I also had vanilla notes in there because I thought about, remember the Neapolitan ice cream, vanilla chocolate strawberry, and you always had two sections that you were eaten and one that wasn't. Like, oh, we need to get another one instead of just getting a vanilla, or strawberry, whatever. So, and that was also a take on Yoo-hoo, right? I wanted to I thought as a, I know you might find this hard to believe. I'm Jewish.
No.
Yeah, no, a little bit. Yeah, no, I am.
You also talk a lot.
And well, I'm Jewish, and with my hands.
Yeah, with the hands.
So,
Driving me crazy.
and I thought about egg cream, right? That is. So anyway, that was the take on that. That one also actually mixed well with tequila. But anyway, so yes, we had chocolate. That was a good one. The blood orange was an easy one for vodka. We also had some coconut and some cream notes in there. That goes great with vodka. With obviously the half tea, half lemonade is a John Daly. I mean, I take them to golf courses and I just mix it with vodka.
You play golf? You play golf?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, not well, but I play. Yeah.
The most amazing thing to me here, Fish, is that Barry barely squeaked by in high school like Jeff Spicoli. And now all of a sudden he's articulate and throwing out all these names, words I got to look up. Wow, Barry, you've come a long way. And,
well, 7 years in college, man.
Yeah,
you learn something.
And look at Mark. He looks
and
like
7 years.
Mark, you look like
7 years in rehab.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, you look like a hitman.
I mean, somebody's got to be serious around here.
Where can people get this wonderful, unbelievable drink?
Yeah, so I mean, we just you're drinking all the new stuff off the line. We just did a whole brand refresh, evolved our products. So that stuff is coming into market now. But at cloudwaterbrands.com, we have all the products there in our online store that you can go shop. I'm surprised we should give a code or a discount for your viewership, guys. I mean, if you want to give me a code or make one up, I can have it live by the time we hang this up, so that if some of your folks want to give it a try, we have variety packs and stuff like that. I will personally guarantee your purchase, and that sounds arrogant, but we get 5-star review after 5-star review, and the 2-star reviews we get are typically over shipping, or a can shows up leaking or things like that, a little out of our control. But I am. How many people watch this? What did I just do? Anyway, so
7 people, just us.
Yeah, right. So I mean,
does that include?
So what am I out? A few cases here.
I'm not watching.
When they find out it actually sucks.
Why don't we go fish?
But
why don't we go?
Yeah,
fish
but
Fish Grunny.
we're in retail, and in SoCal, we're in places like Bristol Farms, Mothers, Lassen's. We're in Walmart in Texas. We're in chains and independents all across the country. We're expanding, so we're not everywhere yet, but that's why we do this, right? Hopefully
we should do a code Fat Fish.
Our code's going to be Fish Grunny 24. How's that?
That's too long.
Okay, nobody's giving 24%. But first of all, my accounting team just called and said no, and because let's use round numbers. Why don't we do Grunny Fish 20? Okay, how's that? We usually do 15, but
fish,
for your
always.
Why not Fat Fish?
I'm sorry,
Fat Fish. Everyone.
Fat Fish 20. How about that?
Yeah.
Fat Fish 20. Perfect.
Because I have people calling. How do you spell Grunny? Is it 2 N's?
Yeah,
is it I-E? Is it
do
Y?
you guys have a production team? You can flash that on the screen, a little dramatic.
That's the production team right
Fat
there.
Fish. Fat Fish.
Fat Fish 20. You get
Crazy Eddie.
I could banner it for you guys. I could after the show banner it. I'll make you a prediction, Barry and Mark. I've been in the bar business so long that I remember when they were trying to sell us the hard seltzers, or Truly, stuff like that. It came in a can first, different flavors, and now everyone in Las Vegas has it on the tap. I could see these cloud waters going on a tap, and I don't know if you've ever explored that, but it's just something to keep in mind. Is going to I see that happening because the product's so good.
Well, listen, I agree with that, but have you seen the can? Right, something you want to kind of carry around, right? So, I mean, I agree with that, and I think we'll get there. But we put a lot of thought into like making a beverage social. A lot of people aren't drinking right now, right? So, You go into a place, you want to pick up something that, kind of looks cool and it's a social beverage. And
I got a funny story about Cloudwater. I was hanging out at my favorite watering hole, and I was looking good as I am right now, and I was drinking Cloudwater, and this hot chick comes over, and I thought she was into me, like, ho ho ho, look at this guy, huh? She goes, "Are you drinking Cloudwater?" I go, "Yes, I am." She goes, "God, you look when you were not drinking it, you're a pig, but
You're a two.
you picked it up. You're like Brad Pitt. You're like
That's right.
like a real
That's right.
hunk." And I go,
Right.
"Thank
Yeah,
you."
we can't make public health claims, but Cloudwater does make you better looking. And
it can cause STDs.
Oh God, no!
It can't cause you to have a better personality. Yeah.
But I
have
really
I have
was really into
PTSD.
it, and she was asking where I could get it, or if she could get it, and I said, "Well, over
Yeah.
at my place," But
Yeah.
that's a story for another time. This is great stuff, guys, and you are now our first sponsor on Fat Fish. We're very excited,
And we're excited to do that.
Yeah, we're going to sell a lot of these, and we're going to make people happy all over the world.
Okay, well, thank you guys. It was really cool of you to have us on. All kidding
Mark,
aside, and to your
you.
5 viewers, what's up, everybody?
And
check us out at We Are Cloudwater on social, and we're happy to give discounts. We believe in the product, so if you want to try it, we'll hook you guys up, and you'll see what we mean. And I'm not kidding. If you don't like it, send it back. I'll have Grunny,
personally drive over the rebate.
Okay.
Along with the godmother from Bay City. And Fish, we'll send some out for you also as well to put at the bar. I'll talk about some drinks.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me know where the bar is, so next time I'm in Vegas, which could be maybe Monday, and then I'll, wherever it is, I'll come and even do in-bar demonstrations.
And for all the money we make,
and here's Barry's cell number if you guys need anything at 2 in the morning.
It's very social.
Food, gaming, and spirits. Three of my top 5 things.
Chuck's Tavern. Yeah.
If you could just add women to that, I'll move there.
Can I add what's the big seller to this, Brad? For me, it's only 30 calories. It has B8, B12. It's got magnesium. It's everything that's healthy for you in a can.
Yeah, and you know what? One last point I want to say is we sweeten all of our drinks with organic wildflower honey. We do not F around with stevia and monk fruit and all that crap. I know people want lower sugar. That's fine, but you also want great taste. And this is calorically competitive with all the brands that use that crap in their drinks. They all taste the same, really. So the differentiator here is it has function. The world doesn't need another functional beverage, but it certainly needs one that smells good, tastes good, and is good for you in that combination. And I'm sorry, there's just a lot of drinks that don't hit that mark, right?
And
so
it can get you late.
Thanks, guys. You're the best.
Yeah, no problem. And the last thing I want to say is all the money we make, I know you're very charitable guys, but we must spend some of this money and get Barry a new shirt. Guys, thanks so much for being on the show. We are going to
thanks for having us.
Out of this. This is our first sponsor. That's Mark. That's Barry. And this is Cloudwater, baby. Find it. It's so good. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.
Thanks so much for having us. Grunny, great seeing you. Fish, great to meet you, man.
Soon, guys.
Good luck with the rest of the show. Take it easy.
Guys.
Thank you.
Peace, guys.
Those are great. Are those solid guys, Fish? Tell me, huh?
How much money are you going to give us?
I don't know, but let's help them let's do a mitzvah. Let's get them going. Let's sell this baby. And they're mentions, man. They'll throw back. I guarantee.
That's
right.
That's what we're about, is building brands. And obviously, this guy from high school. It's good stuff. Obviously, where I went. I went right to and Mark said it, that we developed something to be healthy for you, and everyone thinks you mix it. Well, guess what? That's what happens. I've seen it happen with different with the hard seltzers. There's a little bit there's alcohol in it, but now it's huge, and everyone's can be getting Tito's and hard seltzer. It's incredible how many things like this get mixed.
It's interesting because, like you mentioned, Fish. Some people, they're on the wagon, and they want to be social. And you don't know. You see somebody in a bar drinking this, you think there's alcohol in it, but it's fresh, it's good, and it's healthy for you, which
It
is
is.
great.
And I shocked. You sent me the case and I said, okay. And I started drinking. And like I was honest, the only one I haven't had is I think the watermelon and ginger. I said it earlier. But
Right.
the wifey likes it, happy wife, happy life. So anyways, that was great. How are you? We've been having guests so much. How are you? And hey, toast Tony Orlando, 80 years old, baby.
Yes, Tony Orlando, baby. Simply
bless
the
him.
best. He is simply Carly Simon, simply the best, baby. And I watched some of the excerpts from his show, his last show at the Mohican, and oh my goodness, he had cameos like you wouldn't believe. He
Who?
looks so happy. Tony Orlando.
Tell me.
He had I saw some different excerpts from the show. I think it's going to be on some network. They're putting that together. I talked to his son John Orlando. And everybody showed up. Lee Greenwood sang his song.
A pea-sized amount of Lumi applied.
She did. She showed up.
She showed up with her creams. But the best part for me was he was about to sing "Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree," and then all of a sudden you hear these voices of these women. You can't sing that without us. And Don came out.
Oh,
is that great? Oh, yes. Thelma and Joyce came out and they sang it with him. And it was just like the TV show I used to watch long ago with my sister and my whole family. Tony, to another 80 years, baby. We love you. We love you.
Thanks for all you do. You know what? We had him on twice and just huge response. But again, one thing I'll say in his 80 years, there hasn't been anyone since Bob Hope that's done more for the military in the entertainment industry than Tony Orlando. And that alone gets that button up to heaven in 80 years when, that gets called. How are you? How's the family?
We're doing
How's your mom and dad?
It's a tough time, coming out of the actor strike. The business sadly is in shambles. They don't know what they're going to buy. I have a lot of projects that I'm trying to sell, but I have some big meetings. So send some mojo my way, please. I can sell one of these.
Yeah. Well, speaking of actors, are you a fan of I am? One of my favorite actors is Greg Kinnear. I mean, Little Miss Sunshine. He was great in Invincible. He played Dick Vermeil, the coach of UCLA with the Eagles. He pulled it off in the movie Invincible with Wahlberg. Obviously, he stole a whole season of A House of Cards with Kevin Spacey. He was such a good actor. But I know a guy that actually was his mentor back in the day in 1994. And we found a clip. Can we show you the clip, Brad?
Sure. Go ahead. What do you got?
Right now, when you take the Eagle test drive, you can get an incredible deal. And here to tell you more about it, I guess they're supplying me with my own stunt double. Okay.
Hi, I'm Greg. Right now, you can lease an Eagle Vision with a powerful V6, cab forward design, four-wheel disc brakes, and dual airbags at a great lease price. But hurry, deals like this won't last for long.
Cut. Look at this picture. The hair, it's frosted. I'm not frosted. Got to be lighter, sandy, something like that.
That's great.
That's great.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Greg Kinnear is a salt to the earth. We went to the University of Arizona together. Same year, he was I think it was an ATO. I was a ZBT, and then we came to Hollywood together. And I'm telling you, he's the greatest. And a big surprise. Everybody, you watch that last Curb Your Enthusiasm coming this Sunday, 10 o'clock on HBO, baby. Larry David leaves on top, and you might see some people in some cameos. But Greg Kinnear is a wonderful guy. I bumped into him a couple times. Real family guy, but he's a really good actor. He really is.
A great actor. He was nominated. Didn't he? What was the movie he did with Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt, where he played was it As Good as It Gets? I forgot what it was.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And he just looks like you. He looks like a good guy. He looks like the kind of guy like you, Brad Pitt, him. You could have a beer with and they'll bullshit with you in a bar about sports.
Absolutely. No, he's a handsome guy, but he's humble. Very, humble and blessed guy. Yeah. He'll wait in line like Keanu Reeves waits in line to go into bars in New York. Kinnear's the same way. He doesn't, flaunt his celebrity. Kind of like you, Fish. I heard you're flaunting your celebrity in Vegas. Is that true?
What am I flaunting?
I don't
got
know.
a nice new shirt. Look at the button-down shirt I got.
I know,
You
but
know,
I
and
heard,
got new wardrobe coming for the Fish.
yeah, but I heard there's lines to get into Costco and Walmart and stuff, and you try to cut in with your name and your celebrity, and they say get in the back of the line, buddy.
Well, I don't. I just bring in what's like $100 voucher for the McDonald's in there and say that Brad's in the parking lot hungry, and they said we're just switching from breakfast to lunch now. Does he want any McMuffins? And we haven't talked about a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. First of all, movies. Okay, I don't like to critique movies because I think if you make a movie that one of the 250 that are made out of 300,000 scripts a year, but I'll tell you one that I had a hard time sitting through, only because I'm a huge Patrick Swayze fan. I watched the sequel, or not the sequel, the remake of Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay,
it's on Amazon.
Yeah,
great fight scenes, but it didn't do it for me. Have you seen it?
It's very tough to remake, like Rocky 1. I mean, these movies they try to remake with other actors, and I mean, it just doesn't work. People want to see something better than they saw the first time, right? And fight scenes are one thing, but how about the story? I haven't seen it. Same story. Oh, it was terrible, huh?
Wasn't. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is cut. He's a good actor, and he had Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter, was the villain in this thing.
Oh,
so it's fun. I can't say I wasn't entertained at all.
Yeah,
but I'm used to watching Curb Your Enthusiasm with Bruce Springsteen. It's very rare that my wife and I could fall off the couch laughing.
Yeah,
I mean, and you told me when they do this show, he gives you a blueprint of what the scene should be, correct?
Correct.
And you let you. Bruce nailed it. I mean, his improv was phenomenal.
Bruce is a very good actor. I mean, oh my goodness, he was so good. God, it's what I love, with comedians, with musicians, they perform live, or even Carrot Top, which I love. You leave them wanting more. Okay, you don't keep going on and on and on and on. And when they asked Larry David, "Hey man, are you going to come back for another season?" He goes, "No, I'm done. I'm 76 years old," and he's leaving on top. I got to see the last episode. I looped it. I'm in a loop group with my good buddy Joanna Leeds. She's a wonderful, wonderful actress and a wonderful writer. She had me in the last loop session for Curb, and oh my goodness, I mean, I was crying, peeing in my pants. So good. It's this Sunday, HBO, 10 o'clock. You can catch it on Hulu. You can catch it on HBO. It's everywhere. And Larry, I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for including me on my episode as Jonas the Roofer guy. When you work with your favorites and the legends, it's just unbelievable. I went nose to nose with Mel Brooks. I couldn't believe it. It's one of the first things I ever did, and life stinks. Fish, I'm like looking into Mel Brooks's eyes. I'm like, holy shit, I'm doing a scene with Mel fucking Brooks. And I ended up doing 3 movies with him. It's just amazing. It's so much fun, but you got to be on your game. You got to be on your game, Fish, because if you're not on your game, strike 3, back to the dugout.
When you did your Larry David, and we showed that ad. Well, I'll get the archives and get it back up there. When you fell through that roof and he says take the rest of the week off, another fall off the couch. I mean, JB Smoove is so good, and I mean, when The Sopranos ended, it was like, oh God, what's going to fill that void? When this thing ends, there's nothing I could watch comedic on TV or streaming that I like as much. I'm into Letterkenny, which is on Hulu. It's a Canadian comedy with Jared Keeso, but nothing compares to Larry David. When you worked at Mel Brooks and you're looking at him and thinking, I'm working with Mel Brooks at Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. You know what he's thinking?
Yeah.
I better get the craft services first before this guy gets there. I know I make fun of the eating all the time, but it's just there.
You can chop me up. But I met Mel Brooks in the Fox commissary. I was his waiter. And that was the great thing. This is the great thing. So I'll tell you a great story. So Life Stinks was written by Mel Brooks, Rudy DeLuca, and Steve Haberman, who is the writer of Slices, a great low budget horror film that we're out with right now. And so I'm waiting on their table, and Anne Bancroft is sitting next to Mel. So Rudy DeLuca and Steve go, all right, give Mel the line. Give him the line. I go, right here? They go, yeah. So I put down the food, and I serve them, and then I go, okay. Mel comes up to me at a taco stand. He's starving, and I'm eating a burrito, and I'm looking at him, and he goes, excuse me, do you know where I can get something to eat? I go, listen, pal, I don't know where my next meal's coming from, right? My belly's hanging out. I take the burrito, I shove it down my throat, and I walk away, and then they put a fart in there. Okay, so he looks at it, he goes, not bad. He goes, do it again. And he made an adjustment. I did it. And then he looks at Anne Bancroft, and he goes, what do you think, honey? She goes, I like him. I like him. I think you should book him. And that's my first foray into a Mel Brooks film, Life Stinks. Everybody should check it out. It's unbelievable. And Mel was fantastic, and he directed it. And Steve and Rudy, oh, so much fun. I was downtown in a very seedy area when I did my scene, on location. You've been downtown, right, Fish?
Oh, I'm kidding.
LA?
Yeah, and it's gentrified LA downtown. When I went downtown, you couldn't walk in many of the streets. But part of our shtick here is going to the past, and I'm thinking to myself, sports wise, the NBA when you and I were kids. Well, you're 38 years old, so in the Kinnear commercial, you must have been 12. Anyways,
that was a good one.
30 years ago, 40 years ago, I tried to tell my son this. The NBA was on tape delay. You had to watch the finals.
Yeah.
On tape delay on CBS with Brent Musburg because the ratings are so bad. Then here comes, in a span of 3 years, Larry Bird, follow me, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan, generational talents, and the league just started to evolve until we get Steph Curry, what we have now.
Yeah.
I'm so into the women's basketball with this Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. 12.3 million people watched that game the other day, Sunday, the semifinal, the Elite Eight between those two. And we're starting to see the metamorphosis of what I think in the next 20 years. I think women's basketball, both college and the WNBA, is going to be huge within the next 20 to 30 years.
I agree.
And what do you think? You're the biggest basketball guy I know with the NBA, but I think this is great, don't you?
Are you going to let me talk?
Yeah, well, you talked 5 minutes about Mel Brooks' Life Stinks. You said it 3 times on the show.
You stop talking, and then I answer your question. That's how we do this, remember? And with your new shirt. Good ball. Yes. Caitlin Clark has taken it to another level. You do look handsome. She is phenomenal. Look where she shoots from. Her and Steph Curry. They had I think didn't they have a shoot off or something? I think they had a shoot off during the All-Star game this year. She is.
They did.
Yeah, she's wonderful. She's wonderful for women. She's wonderful for the sport. I mean, she's going to make a fistful of cash when she goes to the WNBA. But I just like her. You know what? I've told you this before, Fish. I love women in power. All the great stuff that I've done, women directors, women producers, women are great. Women are better than men. I'm telling you, really, they're better than men. And I just
agree more. They're stronger.
They what?
They're stronger.
Oh, they are. No, they are.
Pushing a kid out, it's like pushing a bowling ball out of your ass. It just doesn't. It's crazy.
Bowling ball out of your ass. Oh.
If we were to have a kid, it had to come out that way. Unless you could figure out something we could really make money instead of this Cloudwater stuff, which I'm loving Cloudwater.
Cloudwater is it? They're our sponsor, man. We're gonna make nothing, but we're just gonna promote them. No, hopefully
promote them. Hey, I got some memes for you.
By the way, I want to tell you something. Before you go with the memes, I want to talk about women on Curb Your Enthusiasm. The producer Laura was a PA 24 years ago. She started on the show, and Larry promoted her all the way to executive producer when I did the show last season. and she's been working on the show ever since for 24 years, and she made it to the promised land. How great is that? Promote women. All these big corporations promote women, please. Let's get a woman president. Let's do this, right? Come on.
You know, it's funny you should say that, and I think you'll agree. Look at the women leaders around the world. Look at Merkel in Germany. Look at Margaret Thatcher. Look at Indira Gandhi, Golda Meir. Their countries prospered and thrived when they were the presidents and prime ministers of those countries, because they don't have the ego and the machismo, the what's it called, the a personality and stuff like that. So you're right. I would love to see a woman president, and I'd love to see more women, and more women are in power. And the bottom line is they're mentally tougher than we are.
They are. Yes.
They're mentally tougher than men. We're gonna get a lot of shit for saying that. By the way, if you're interested in Cloudwater, you could send us your comments, and we'll get it to Barry and Mark at fishgrunny1@gmail.com.
And also
we had
they're also
we had a guest on, and the guy that played in the NBA, Craig Smith. And we talked about
great guy.
trophies. Great podcast. Brad, you cried. I had some technical difficulties, and Brad did his, should have won there's an Emmy award or some kind of award for podcast. All right, Brad, I could just go, "Mwah." You were so great.
Thanks, buddy.
We talked about trophies, right? And that we all agreed that you should not get a trophy other than first, second, and third. So I found a third place trophy in the Brad Grunberg Little League in Brentwood, California, also playing the West Side. Look at this third place trophy.
Oh God. Oh, that's how I get some of the parts I have to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cloudwater. Ooh, that looks good.
Look at Cloudwater. They just sent that to me, so I'm going to get it in there real quick. All right.
Oh, that's
so
great.
we'll go from the third place trophy to a first place Cloudwater. I'll get a better shot of that. It kind of doesn't go up against the thing, but you can see the cloud and the Cloudwater.
Yeah, Max.
Let's go back to the 80s. Look at this. We found a couple of people in the 80s that kind of look at this, Brad. That's Paul Stanley and Brett Michaels in 1986. It's really not them, but
I know, but it looks like them.
It does, doesn't it?
Michaels, yeah. I love both of those guys. Wow, look at that. That is close. That's pretty.
This is pretty cool. If baseball season just started, and we're excited here in Los Angeles and Vegas, and the Dodgers have done something, Brad. That and check out this. The Dodgers have scored 5 runs or more in their first 9 games. Never happened in Major League Baseball history.
Wow.
This is the transactions in the LA Times the other day, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the Cleveland Indians, signed Jake. You name the film, Brad. Jake Taylor, Ricky Vaughn, Roger Dorn, Willie Mays Hayes, Pedro Serrano, and Eddie Harris. Remember the film?
Right. That's with Charlie Sheen.
Right.
No.
Major League. Okay. I'll go a couple. The New York Knights signed outfielder Roy Hobbs, played by the great Robert Redford. Remember that movie?
That is one of my favorite movies of all time.
The Natural.
The Natural, Field of Dreams. I love that. Oh, God.
The Tampa, one last one. We'll get some good signage, Brad. The Tampa Bay Rays signed, they actually called up Ebby Calvin Lelouch from AAA Durham. I mean,
what?
You remember your first thing you ever did? The first role that, I'm drawing a blank. Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins. Calvin Lelouch. Remember in Bull Durham?
Oh, of course. Was that his first gig?
Well, I'm a trivia buff like this. The first thing he ever did is he had a one-liner in the original Top Gun in 1986. All right.
Oh, okay.
And then he did that in 88, and he did a couple of minor roles, and then he really popped it with Shawshank Redemption in 94. That was huge.
Does he have a restraining order against you?
No, why? I'm not.
Yeah, he should. By the way, where's your friend, the comedian? I want to meet him.
He didn't show up.
Oh, that's not right.
Yeah, Dante. I'm looking for him. I've been texting him. He's having a hard time getting on.
He forgot us. All right.
So this is actual signage throughout the United States. I'm not kidding you, Brad. You read this sign.
Cock block, love it. I've been cock blocked a lot in my life. Yes. Oh my God, that's a great.
Slow roast prime rib.
Oh my God, that is a great name.
Yeah.
How many times have you, before you met your wifey, how many times have you been cock blocked at the bar? Many.
all
I can
the
tell you a
time.
great story.
Even guys like me,
Yeah.
sometimes, a lot of times, strike out. But
No, not
you
you.
all
No.
you never strike out by taking the pitch. You strike out swinging. That's how you do this. You're the same way. You're
Yeah, you
aggressive,
go
kid.
right back up. You get back on
Brad,
the
you got
horse.
so
You get
much
back.
tail. You got so much trim at the Hollywood
You
Tropicana. You
you
just
get
don't talk
listen.
about it
You
because
get
your mom and
right
dad
back in
watch
the
the
box.
podcast.
Yeah.
What?
But I will tell you a story about my cock block. Two of my favorite actors, Jessica Lansbury and Scott Baio, they were my acting teachers because I was a background artist on both their shows, Murder, She Wrote and Charles in Charge. So I'm at the Toys for Tots event where they raise, they get toys for kids, underprivileged kids. So I'm talking to Blair from Lisa Welchel from Facts of Life. And she's digging me. She's into me. She's into this guy. Yeah, baby. And then all of a sudden, Scott Baio walks up, and it was all over. She walked off with him, and I went back to the dugout. But thank God, there was In-N-Out Burger in the green room. So I drowned my sorrows in In-N-Out Burgers. Scott Baio cockblocked me with Lisa Welchel. She was so into me. She was laughing at my jokes. I was on fuego. All my lines were working, Fish.
No.
Look at you.
You hold your chin up. Chin up. I'll tell you why. Scott Baio's a gorgeous kid at the time. He's still a good-looking guy, right?
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Rest in peace. If Screech walked up and stole the girl, Dustin Diamond, then you get. If it's some guy that you know that you got the more swag on.
Yeah.
Scott Baio. Scott Baio. It's like
Bugsy Malone, Chachi Arcola. Yeah, he had.
Dude,
yeah.
I was hitting on a girl. I was hitting on a girl one time at Mom's Saloon where I worked in Brentwood, right? And I go to the bathroom and I come back and Tony Danza's hitting on her. And I lost out to Tony Danza.
Oh,
all right. I held my chin up. That's Tony Danza. What are you gonna do? You lost out to Scott Baio. It wasn't some schlub off the street.
I mean, you have.
Let's move on.
You have one of the most beautiful wives in the world. So if you were just flirting with somebody, I mean, you can hold your own. Yeah. Not okay. Let's move.
Look at that Subway, 6 inches. Try the 6 inches.
Oh, that's funny. That's great.
Here's another one.
That's so funny. I'm 8, but anyway, that's great. I love that.
I got some more.
Okay, give it to me.
Zaxby's Real Chicken, filling you up one finger at a time.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
I know that while I'm doing this is we're drinking cloud water and getting some good electrolytes and a healthy kind of drink. And I'm showing all these places to Brad. And he's the male ovulator when it comes to food. Look at this one, Brad.
What does ovulator mean?
This is the best one. Krabby Dick in Delaware. Dip your balls in our semen sauce. Open for lunch. Brad will be right there. These are real places, folks.
Oh, buddy,
these are real establishments.
That and Cock Block are my favorites right now.
Of course. Yeah. So that's it. That's our whatchamacallit. That's our take on establishments and their signage and some of it in the woke culture. I don't know if you can get away with it, but they get away with it. And could they do that in LA? Could you put that on there, dip your balls in our sauce and get away with it?
Listen, this is what I love. When you find this shit, I love it. Yes, it's real. I guess double entendre. I don't know. Excuse me. I'm still trying to get over the dip your balls in our sauce. I love that. But,
I just can't get over them. I know it sounds like a broken record and you try and fill time, but you talk about working with Mel Brooks. I had a huge man crush. I love Greg Kinnear because I always said to my wife, Vicky, that's the kind of guy I could have a drink with. He's so good. When he played Dick Vermeil, a coach, and you go and play Little Miss Sunshine, which is a really great character.
Great movie, yes.
Good as it gets, and I'm missing a ton of other stuff that the guy's done. Yeah. And you knew him when you went to college with him in Arizona. I forgot you said. Did you know him? And obviously he never changed from when you knew him in college to this big superstar, correct?
Well, I met him in college, and then we did that commercial. Oh my God, we were laughing all day because we were just talking U of A, we were talking Bear Down, the bars, Dirt Bags,
Bear
J.K.
Down.
Nichols. We were talking Arizona, baby, University of Arizona. What a great place to go to school. And I haven't seen him in a long time, but you'll see him soon. He is really just a great guy.
Let me ask you this. So obviously
He doesn't
knows
like you. I talked to him about you. He doesn't like you.
I know.
You follow him around.
You know why? Because he couldn't wear this shirt like I do. That's why.
He shows up with his family.
So Kinnear's the type of guy you run up, you run into him. You see him at some event, and he'll come up to you and give you a hug. Have you ever met an actor? Because you've been to so much shit. Have you ever met a guy and I had it happen to me, that you knew when you were younger, like a Kinnear, and they got big and kind of flushed you off a little bit, like hey, how you doing? And
there's been a couple, and it's crazy because you start off in the trenches with these guys, back to back in the trenches, and then somebody pulls you out and you become, a major star, a minor star, whatever. And then it's like you and I on the red carpet, and the guy's name is Bob Nothing, right? And he's walking in, hey, Bob Nothing, Bob, it's me.
Bob Nothing.
Funny. It's Snacks. Don't you know who I am? And they walk right by and they look at you and they go, looks familiar. Have him removed. I don't know who that is, screaming my name. People do. It goes to their head. I learned this. I think John Travolta said this. I don't know who did, but you meet the same people going up as you do coming down. Remember that. Okay?
Yeah.
But that's why I love you, Fish. When we reconnected after 30 long years, buddy, it was like we never... It's like we nothing in that 30 years was lost. We just picked up where we left off. We started laughing right when you asked me to be on your podcast and with the two other.
Well, I asked you because one, I knew you were funnier than me a little bit, and two, the last guy did a podcast, I wasn't better looking then. Okay, I'm better looking than you.
That's true. That is true.
The reason why I asked you is because when you did Johnny Cocktails, which I think
is now called
travesty and it's heresy that didn't get
Wingman.
made. When you shot it at Mom's Saloon, and I got the family to use that place. I took a shot. I said, you know what? I'm in this for Cocktail my whole life. I'm born and raised here. I work in a bar that just caters to actors and actresses, and I've never had a desire to act. And I said, all right. Yeah, and I remember you talking to John Hyatt and a couple other people that were on the crew and saying we need someone to sit across from Sam Perkins. And I said, can I do it? And you never hesitated. You said yes. Like you didn't look at me and say, let's say this guy, because I had to act a little bit with the, acting like I was high. And right. I never forget shit like that. So, and if you can get the Johnny Cocktails thing to me. We have not shown that on this podcast.
Wait, hold it. Stop talking. It's called Wingman now. Wingman.
Well, what was it called back then?
Well, it's called Wingman.
What was it called back then?
It was called the Johnny Cocktails Hour.
I want to show that 10-minute thing on the show.
Oh, okay. I'll get it. I'll
get it to me.
Well, I have a smaller version of that. I have a sizzle.
Look below your waist.
Oh, you're hot today, man. I like that one.
Get it to me because you got to see.
I'll send you what the sizzle reel of Wingman that I show people, and we'll play that on the show.
I'm privy. I'm not licking this guy's ass, but I'm privy to all this. I know all the projects he's got going. Wingman by far, slam dunk. I want to be involved with it every. It is the funniest, most creative. Fun, and it can only be done by a Brad Grumberg. I couldn't pull Wingman off. So what we'll do, you're going to get it to me next week when we do 56. Okay. We're going to start off by saying, people, drink your cloud water and invest in this. This is because only you could do this. I could never pull that character off. Never.
I'd love to do it in Vegas. I'd love to do it with one of the headliners. I'd love to do it with a sports star that or maybe a Raider. I mean, I need to do a fresh one because the one with Sam Perkins was, a time ago, but it still makes you laugh. And you'll see. And Sam Perkins, a shout out to him in Indiana. This guy did this for us. John Hyatt, we got him, and he was a Laker at the time. And I just can't thank him enough because we had such a good time, didn't we? One day.
Look, John goes, look, we want to use the bar. I said, fine.
Yeah.
And I got the people there at the powers that be.
Yeah.
Let's use the kitchen, shut the kitchen down.
And who was in
for
it,
them to do
Dave?
that for a
Who
couple
was in
hours
it?
was insane. And you casted a guy that was one of my dear friends, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Dave Brown also was a big you'll see it. Yeah, I don't think it's in the
It's
sizzle
not
reel,
in the- yeah,
but
I
Dave
gotta
Brown
look
and
at
your interaction with Dave Brown stole it.
Dave Brown, we're talking about you. We miss you every day. You're the funniest motherfucker. I don't understand. Oh God, Dave Brown. We had such a good time interviewing him, didn't we? Oh, he was on the podcast. But Dave Brown as the cook in the kitchen was hilarious, dropping the burgers. Oh my God, on the floor, putting them back on the grill. I'm
sitting there. I'm having a burger. I'm having some food with Sam Perkins. I'm talking sports and stuff like that. I said, my family's got this, but you don't know this story.
No.
And he looks at me and he says, man, them two dudes, he pointed to you and Dave Brown. He goes, they's the new Blues Brothers. And I said, wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, except that Aykroyd's a little skinnier than Belushi. But I thought, oh my God, because you guys, that's the one thing about comedy. When you do Larry, you take it from me, you take off on this one. The thing about comedy is all timing. And that's when you did that thing with Larry David and you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, timing is everything.
Yep. It is. Timing in comedy is everything. The way you approach it, the way you the delivery is that's why Bruce Springsteen is so good. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, he's going toe to toe with one of the greatest improv actors of all time, comic actors, Larry David, and it was hilarious. I mean, Bruce Springsteen, if it doesn't work out with the music, he could always be an actor, comic actor.
The way they do that scene, I'm just gonna give it away, is that he's at Jeff's house, the manager, and the wife's cooking, Susie, who that's probably a 10 in Brad's life to get a woman like that that plays the wife.
Oh, good.
And they're just one thing about I love that show is they treat Bruce Springsteen like he's just an average guy. Bruce, you want some more of this? They're not ogling over him because Bruce Springsteen is Bruce Springsteen. He is an absolute icon. He might be the number one rock and roll guy.
This is why Curb works so good. When it comes to the money, everybody, you know who I am. I should get double this, double that. At the get-go of the show, they said Ted Danson makes top a show, which is $8,000 for the week. Okay. We do not go higher than that. So if you want the $8,000 and come on the show and have some fun, let's do it. And if you don't, you want more money, sorry, Charlie. That's what I liked about the show. It wasn't about money and this and bullshit. You know what it was about? Coming together and making people laugh.
Right.
That's what it's all about. And that's what we do every week, don't we?
We try.
We do it well. And by the way, Fish, you look great. And show number 50, let's talk about show number 55 here. Oh my, 55 times we've done this. So much fun, buddy. And now we got a sponsor, Cloudwater. And you're going to get some at the at Chuck's Tavern, right? We're going to.
I don't know about that. He might send it. I can't. I'll talk to the guys. I can pour it and see it, and I can use it. But let's see if I can make some drinks with it. But let's help these guys out.
Yeah, let's help.
And
let's
see,
help
because they're friends of
Mark.
yours. I don't mind talking about it on our show because you know what?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. What I'd like you to do, talk to Max. Maybe we can take the logo and put it, somewhere, so people see it for the whole hour.
Well, you see the banner, everyone on the bottom there where it says thanks to Chuck's Tavern and Johnny Cocktails. I'll add that on there.
Okay,
and I'll say, hey, if you're out and about, get iCloudwater. I'll get with the guys. We'll do this off air. And I'll say,
let me ask you,
I heard him say Bristol Farms. Bristol Farms is huge in LA.
Oh, it is.
South
great,
huge.
Mark. I think maybe they do have it at Gelson's too. That's another unbelievable market. By the way, we're almost done here. Give me your final four champion. Who is going to win?
I have UConn in the men's, and I'm rooting for Caitlin Clark with Iowa, but South Carolina, they're so big and strong in the box down, in the key. So I got South Carolina for the women. I got UConn for the men. What about you?
Every swinging PP, ESPN, all the networks, they all say Connecticut, And I say, you know what? Maybe Purdue. Maybe Purdue.
Good for you.
I'm
Good for
telling
you.
you, listen, there's one thing about, people who gamble. Everybody goes with the favorite, right? It's guys who go the other way who win more of the time, But UConn is unreal. I mean, the coaching, Hurley, he's great. It's really a special team. But I'll tell you something, it's not going to be easy. Purdue can bring it, baby. Purdue can bring it.
Sure.
But how's work, by the way? How's work? How's
good? Then picking up, a little busy.
Yeah,
Chef's
tell us who
Tavern,
you had.
we're rolling.
Yeah, I heard you had a surprise guest walk in last night. Who was that?
Yeah, well, I think show 13, Joe Kopp walks in, right?
Oh my God.
And he goes, and I go, what are you here early? He goes, well, you got that New York accent. And he goes, I got to go see this stripper over at hanging out with Aria later tonight. I went to the Knights game last night. And give me some bacon wrapped shrimp. Just like that.
He is such a character, man.
He is.
We got to get him back on the show. He has more stories for us about being a cop in New York for 20 years.
He's the least looking cop I've ever seen. What's the guy? Not Mark, right? Mark looks like a cop. Of Cloudwater.
Yeah,
more than Joe Kopp looks like your chemistry teacher at University High School.
I know. Can you imagine Joe Kopp trying to stop somebody, a robbery, a murder? I mean, something goes down and Joe Kopp shows up, and you're like, "What? Who's this? Is Barney Fife? Who is this guy?" So yeah,
Barney Fife.
I mean, by the way, Joe has the biggest heart. He's a sweet guy. We had him on the show, but he really does a lot for people. He's been retired for many years, but he still helps people every day. Charity work, strippers. He helps everybody. But it's so amazing that we meet so many great people on our show. When we bring them on and they tell their stories. Like after this, I'm going to go lifting and picking people up. And boy, did I had 4 girls from USC. I picked them up at the Century City Mall. They went and got some food and they went back to USC. They were, freshmen, characters, all 4 of them, really funny. And I was telling them about my life. They were crying. I brought them back to USC. It was really cool. One of them wanted to be an actress. So I say, hey, call me if I can answer any questions, help in any way. Because I like to get, pay it forward. You're a pay it forward kind of guy, right? If somebody want to be a bartender,
Always. You just, do good. Just do good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
Brad, the fact that you for our new listeners on podbean.com, go to podbean.com. That'll get you all your listening outlets. Brad's a caretaker. We got about a minute to go. For his mom Sandy and his dad Jerry. The fact that you do that, and your dad's in his 90s, your mom late 80s. That's what do you call it? A mitzvah? That's
I wouldn't have
who does that?
Way. Like I told my mom and dad, I told them, you gave me the greatest life in the world, and now I'm going to pay you back. I take you all the way to the end, baby. And on that note, I want to thank Mark, and I want to thank Barry from Cloudwater. I'm telling you, everybody, get yourself some Cloudwater. You guys, you might just get laid. You never know. I told you that girl came up to me when she saw I was drinking Cloudwater. It's so good. They have all these new flavors. Thank you for being on the show. And for number 55, I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, aka Snacks. That's Eric Fish Snyder. This was number 55 in the books. Dave Linden, take us away.
Before Dave Linden takes us away,
I knew it.
If this thing could get everyone laid, we'd be a billionaire by the end of the week. Dave Linden, what do you think?
You've been listening to the Fat Fish Podcast, heard on all your favorite platforms. Until next time.
I miss you.
It cut off.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
Of course you did. I had to come back for the billion.